expect to be back with the 3,000 gallons so soon, but as you can tell from the thumbnail, there's been a loss in the fish gallery. We lost the Electric Blue Jack Dempsey. I kind of alluded to in episode 28 that I felt that it was coming because he was so old, and you could just sort of see the wear and tear on him. But rather than only cover the loss of the Jack, I wanted to also show you the tank and talk about a few of the positive things that are going on as well. And then at the end of the video, I'll give you a heads up on a couple big things that are coming in the next 2 videos. So everybody else in the 3000 is doing great. The algae, excess algae from when I put in the new drains and the system was powered down for so long is still burning away. Everything tests out great. And actually that sort of brings me to my first thing I wanted to cover, was that in the comments for the videos, I get a lot of awesome comments from a lot of awesome people, and one of them, half cichlid, half man, or half man, half cichlid. Sorry if I got it wrong, but it's one of those. He asked, so what are the nitrates in the 3,000 gallon? And I was like, I don't know, I haven't checked in a while. So I checked today, the day I'm filming this, and they were around 20. I mean, they were slightly lighter than the 20 ppm, and certainly nowhere near the 40 parts per million. So I'm just going to call it 20 parts per million. And we sort of had some conversation going back and forth in comments as to, how much of that is, oh, there's the Ataba, sorry. The new guys just get me every time when I see them. Some of the young grow-outs finally making it into the big tank. So we were talking how much of that is the anoxic zone that I've tried to create in the large sump. How much of that is the plants? How much of that is feeding proper foods that aren't full of filler, ash, phosphorus, things like that. So it's hard to say. I mean, at the end of the day, testing tells you, and what you see happening in the tank tells you what's going on. If you see long hair, stringy algae, blackbeard algae, those sorts of things, you got excess nutrients or possibly lighting issues, like excessive light. You have a case like mine where the nutrients weren't high, but my lights were, for some period of time, some of the lights were stuck on nonstop, unbeknownst to me, and it got algae. And then now that we've corrected that, and it's abating. The plants are beating it back. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to tell, but at the end of the day, I think you gotta do a bunch of techniques. You gotta manage your water quality. You gotta put the right food in. You gotta try things with live plants and filtration, and see what works for you. And most likely, it's a combination of those things that does ultimately, at the end of the day, give the tank the proper nutrient levels, again, to match up with what you've got going on. So I have a lot of bio load from these big fish, but I also have a lot of plants. We've got 21.5 feet of mostly fully planted aquarium. So there's a lot of serious plants going on here. So, whether it's what I've tried to create in the sump with the anoxic zone, or the plants, or the combination of them, who's to say? But at the end of the day, the results are going the right way, and that's ultimately the most important thing. Are the fish healthy? Are the plants thriving? Do you not have excess algae? Or in my case, you created excess algae by a broken timer and by having the water drown for a few weeks while I drilled in overflows that I should have done when I first built the tank. Or are you getting or is your tank exhibiting signs of excess nutrients long term, where you got hair algae, stringy algae everywhere, you have poor water quality? Of course, if you ever smell anything or anything like that, that's a real bad sign. And then, of course, the other barometers of the aquarium are the fish. How do they look? Do they look happy and healthy? Do they act happy and healthy? That's a very good indicator of the condition of your water quality. So, that being said, I think now we've got to cover the unfortunate thing, which is the loss of the Jack Dempsey. Unfortunately, like I've been saying in my last couple of videos, I knew the end was near for my Electric Blue Jack Dempsey. He was super old and really just starting to look his age and act his age, and came down today, and there he is. He's floating at the top of the 3,000 gallon. Oh man, even when you know it's coming, it still sucks. I got him back in 2012. He started life in a 40 gallon, and then he moved to a 75, and then a 150, and then he went from the 150 into the 3,000 gallon. And he was in here for a little over 2 years, 2.5 years. And I know he loved it in here. I could tell from the way he acted. So, man, I'm gonna have to go get him out and get him buried. But I got him in 2012, and this is October of 2021. So he did, I think, have a good long life. I'm not 100% sure of the average lifespan of Jack Dempsey's. Also, him being Electric Blue Jack Dempsey, so a little bit of a line breeding there, which could cut short their life. But yeah, hopefully he did have what's considered a long life for a Jack Dempsey. I know he had a good life. I always take very good care of him, and the best foods, and for his size at the time, the proper size aquarium. All right, let me get him and get him buried. Yeah, so for any of you guys who are newer to the hobby, or newer to my channel, excuse me, and haven't seen the build video for the 3000, the panels on the top, they're integrated. I can take them off. They're meant to look like a solid wall, but obviously they can be taken off, and this is how I access the front of the tank. Unfortunately, in this case, it's to get my Jack Dempsey to fish him out as he's passed. But normally it's a nicer situation, and it's just to maintain the aquarium. The 3,000 gallon is 6 feet front to back, so I can roughly reach the 3 feet in the back and the 3 feet in the front. There's definitely an area in the middle I have to use the tongs, but it's not too bad. Also, too, being an ecosystem tank where I'm trying to let nature do its thing, I'm trying to have my involvement be the minimal amount, and just do the things to facilitate nature to run the tank for the most part. So at any rate, this is, you can see we have these double wall corrugated panels. See, they're popped up right now because I had other panels before, and these are newer ones I put on. And I haven't cut out the notches for where the returns are for the pumps in the back. Let me grab him, he's right here. Actually, you know what I think I'll do is do some justice. Is we'll get a tape measure and we'll see, how big did he get. So I know when I got him. I know I got him in the late summer of 2012, like August, and this is October of So we'll see how tall he got, how big he got before we bury him. At any rate, so just kind of showing you the depth of the tank and just what I use for the tops. And so I will be notching it around everything to get a tighter fit like I had with the old panels, because there is a fish or two that are in the grow out that are coming to this aquarium that are known for jumping. So this won't cut it like it is right now, so we're going to get that fixed up before we add them in. Okay, so I measured his height, and that was 3.5 inches, and his length is 8 inches. So this was, when I got him, he was half an inch, probably 1 inch, very small. Electric Blue Jack Dempsey. All right, let's get him buried. Okay, so I was just taking a little break from working on the new aquarium basement annex, the new freshwater builds, and something I've been talking about in the last few videos is that my Electric Blue Jack Dempsey was looking extremely old and haggard. I felt like the end was pretty near. And while taking a break from working, I was going over and checking out the 3,000 gallon, and sure enough, there he was floating. So last night, he was, kind of acting in his new normal, being a very old fish, but he didn't eat. That's the first time I've ever seen him not aggressively go after food. You watch any of the videos on 3000, and he held his own with anybody in there. He was always like, well, I was gonna say first, but actually the peacock bass were always first, but he was second to get the food out of everybody. And to see him not go up there, I was afraid that might be the case. At any rate, I just want to show you guys the whole hobby, the good and bad. I do my best to take care of these fish, and of course, in this case, it's just old age, but But yeah, after many years of enjoyment, the life came to an end, and that sucks. You know, like a lot of animals, they don't have nearly as long a lifespan as you wish they did. But I am happy that able to give him a home for his entire life. Like I said, he started in a 40-gallon, but he ended up in a 3,000-gallon. So I don't know how many Electric Blue Jack Dempseys can say they managed that path. You know. And I know for a fact that he loved the hell out of that 3,000 the last 2.5 years. I mean, when he was in the 150, he was active, but when he went to 3,000, he was really active. You could tell he was loving life, just like these other guys are in there. So it's cool to see him in something, you know, I mean, as close as you can get to their natural habitat within reason. I mean, obviously the Amazon River, or in the case of a Jack Dempsey, you know, whatever river he came out of Central America, they're all huge compared to aquariums. But, you know, all things considered, I think the slice of a river that 3,000 provides these guys is something where they can really act natural. Sorry, act natural. Any rate, hate to make these kind of videos. Never like to have a fish die, or or coral, anything really. You know, you want everything to thrive. Everything you're taking care of, you want to thrive. But I think it's important. You've seen videos where, God forbid, the plumbing on the 3,000. Like, I could have done that right the first time, and I didn't. But yeah, I just want to show every aspect of it, the good stuff, the bad stuff, the in between. Who knows? Some of these things, my mess ups and everything like that, or as I find better ways, or I learn a lot from. I'm always been amazed. I've said this in a previous video, but a lot of the people who post comments on my video they're awesome. I mean, they have a lot of insight, they have a lot of experience. I've learned a lot from them. I've been doing this a long time, and I'm still learning, and I think that's why I keep doing it, because there's so much to it. There's so much depth to this hobby, and it's awesome. So maybe that's why, I turn my basement into an aquarium gallery, or an aquarium basement, or whatever you want to call it, Maybe I'm just crazy, who knows? Or maybe it's a good kind of crazy, and these tanks, I know they bring me enjoyment. I know they bring enjoyment to some people on YouTube, because they told me as much. And just a shout out to all the people who've commented. A lot of cool people there. And it's been a pleasure for me to get to know some of you guys, or people, from the comments on the videos. And some of you, obviously, we've even talked on the phone and sent emails, and you name it. But it's been great to expand the hobby. I don't have to be a little hermit in my basement all the time. I get to share this stuff with you guys. All right, well, obviously, as frustrating it is to lose a long-time fish that's been with me, for 9 years, like all my fish, I care for them the best I can, and I enjoy them, and I get attached to them when you've been around for 9 years, so I hate to lose them. But there are better things coming, or happier things coming, and that is the next video is going to be on the new fish room annex. It's coming along great. Construction has started. I wanted to wait a little bit until next week to make the first video on it, because I wanted to show you enough so you can really appreciate what these new DIY builds are going to look like. And we'll cover who's going in there. You'll get a real good idea for the scale and everything. I think that's going to be a fun video. I know when I put a lot of work into building these, it feels good to actually, for me, to even watch the video back and be like, oh, look at that. Something's, you see the progress, because along the way it's a lot of work. So it's good to see the progress in stages. Kind of gives me momentum to start the next stage and keep going. And then the second video after that is going to be on Predator Bay, because there are new additions to Predator Bay. Sometimes when you're dealing with the kind of inhabitants that I keep in Predator Bay, when you have an opportunity to get some, you have to jump on it, and that's what I did. I think we're fine. We're 3-4 months in. I mean, the tank's been great. It's not like we're pushing any envelopes here in terms of stocking with the maturity level of the tank. Everything is all good there. But pretty exciting to get the new guys, and obviously I want to share it with you. All right, as always, thanks for watching.